Priya, I'm going to introduce you to my 5-spiced crispy duck with the fruit in the actual stir-fry, lychees and plum sauce.
Nice, 2 fruits.
Exactly.
Here we go.
Now, I'm going to get this duck and then just slice the packet and I'm going to remove the duck breast. I love the way duck breasts crisp up and all the flavour we get from that skin is going to be delicious. With a little knife, I'm just going to score the skin just to release some of that fat and to allow some of the flavour of the 5-spice to go in there. And I love that you got straight into the vegetable cooking. I reckon you're going to look forward to this dish.
I am. I love star anise, and that's in 5-spice.
It is. It's strong, isn't it?
It is. It's a beautiful aroma, and you know it's going to be delicious the minute you smell it.
Now, be careful because 5-spice is quite strong, so you don't want to have too much of it on there. But a good pinch on each side is what you need.
Perfect.
Salt and pepper goes on there because salt loves meat, meat loves salt, and I'll make sure I put plenty of that on the skin as well because I want that to render down because the skin from the duck that's going to render down and give me lovely flavour. So my pan's on already and we'll hear some sizzle. That's what I'm looking for. That rendering is going to happen right before our very eyes. You've got the snow peas, the beans, and the sugar snaps on their way. I've got these onions that I'm just going to take the core out of. And I do this quite often because I want the onions to fall apart and sort of spread out in the dish.
Oh, so you take the core out so it falls...
Exactly.
Ah, a little chef treat.
Exactly.
Good.
So that's why it falls apart. Otherwise, if you leave the core in there...
It stays together.
It stays
I've lived
together.
a nightmare personally many times.
There we go.
Good to know.
Now, I always slice them like that, nice and fine. It's a good way to build up your knife skills, cutting onions, you know, doing it nice and slowly. Use a good sharp knife and, you know, push it all the way through. And as I said, see how it just falls apart into little pieces? That's what I'm looking for. Delicious.
Also counts in your veggie intake.
There we go. So
Flavour and good for you.
Exactly. So
Perfect.
does ginger also include...
Yes, it does.
Oh, my goodness. So I've got...
Ginger's good for you,
onion,
yeah.
ginger. We're going to count all this later on and you're going to tell me how many veggies I've got in my diet or this dish and maybe it might cancel out some of the things that I didn't have yesterday.
Or I was going to say maybe it cancels out some of the stuff you've done on here before that wasn't so good for you, but that's okay.
Like chocolate cake and cheesecake, all those
In
wonderful things.
moderation, it's all good for you.
Now, I'm using some red chilli and I like to take the seeds out of it. I'm going to use the red chilli as part of the colour for this dish because there's a lot of brown and green stuff, so we need a little bit of red as well.
I have to say that's such a chef thing to think about. You're thinking of how the dish looks on the plate with the colour.
Exactly.
And I wish sometimes I could be at your level. I don't say that in many things. But in that respect, I do. I'm like, he's thinking about how it's going to come together.
I'm just imagining that. Are you thinking of me on this level or this level down
I
here?
never specified which level.
But yeah, as a chef, you're always thinking of how things are going to look because everything we cook, we're going to sell. When you put it down in front of you and it almost looks too good to eat, that's the look we're looking for. And these are dried mushrooms that I'm using. Now, I soak the dried mushrooms in hot water so that they soften up. Great if you haven't got fresh mushrooms around. Now, the duck, I'm just going to turn it over here and have a little look at that. Look at that, seared up beautifully. Nice and
crispy skin.
Exactly. And while that duck's cooking, I'm going to use the pan and the juices from the duck and the fat from the duck that's rendered down to start off my onion, my ginger, my chilli, and also the mushrooms and get them cooking nice and gently. I'm just going to stir this. In fact, I'm going to take the duck out of here while it's sealed off and let it rest for a little bit. I like it nice and rare. It's going to be really, really rare.
Yeah.
Rest it for a little bit. And while that's resting, I'm going to toss this off, let it sweat down for 4 or 5 minutes till it's nice and caramelised, and then we'll be able to bring it all together.
Beautiful.
That's caramelising up beautifully in the duck fat. That's exactly what I want. Now, the duck is quite rare, so I'll just slice it all the way through. I just wanted to render down the duck fat so it was nice and crispy, and then I'll cook the rest of it in the pan with all the other flavours.
Okay.
So cut it nice and fine. Now, the pan is on really hot, so this will... See that? It's searing. That's what I want to hear. Now, this is just about.
I got excited. I was like, are the veggies going in now, Richo?
They are just about to go in.
Itching to put them in the pan.
This is all about the meat. It's all about the duck and how delicious it is. Look at that. Now, as it's cooking, I just grab a bit of salt in there, some pepper in there, and we'll add some sauces to it as well. Now, the trick with this is just spread the duck around into the bottom of the pan so that it browns off nicely. You want the sauces in there? Let's put some sauces in there. That's what's going to give it the flavour. Plum sauce, which is the other fruit that we're using in our...
Ah, I see.
Nice, like that.
One of your fruits is from a bottle. Well
exactly,
done.
exactly. It is plum sauce. It is delicious, and it's really thick, which means it's got plenty of plums in it.
So these are really classic flavours, aren't they, Richard? You've got soy sauce, you've got sesame oil, you've got plum.
But the flavours of the Orient, that's what I like to say. A little squirt of soy sauce in there. And with the sesame oil, just a little bit of this because it's quite strong. We don't want it to overpower everything. I'll hand that to you. I'll give this a little toss around like that. You can see that duck is coming together. Oh, you're wanting to get those veggies in.
It's not time, is it?
I'm just holding you off for a second. Chili sauce goes in there. That's got plenty of flavour. Some Szechuan peppercorns to give you that sort of furry flavour as well. And I add them whole like this because I love the crispness of it, the way you bite through them.
Interesting. I've never used this. Is giving me some confidence here.
Oh, you'll have plenty of
just
confidence.
chuck them in.
Throw them in there. I just want the veggies to cook really, really quickly. So by throwing them in here, they're going to steam with the duck. In goes the lychees. These are tinned lychees. Oh. They're delicious, aren't they?
They are. Sweetness. I love it. You've got all these flavours and then you've got the sweetness of the lychee.
Chestnut goes in there as well. Give it a toss around like that. I want all those flavours to start to come together. It's smelling good, isn't it?
It is.
Now, I've got some cornflour with some lychee juice there because it came from a can. I want you to mix that around. So we add the sweetness of the lychee at the end with the cornflour to thicken it all up, and that gives us a lovely sauce as well. In go the herbs. Plenty of herbs in everything I cook. Coriander, spring onion. Toss that around.
Can I say, Richard, I'm loving that you're using natural fruit juice to deliver some sweetness here. The lychee juice, that's nice.
Exactly. Now, this is what we call a little slurry. This is a thickening agent to bring all those liquids together, make it nice and thick. And also, the cornflour gives it a shine as well. Stir that around, and as that cornflour cooks, you'll find it'll bind together and you get that really sort of thick sauce that coats to everything in the pan.
The deliciousness.
Exactly, the deliciousness. A little sprinkle of salt, a little bit of pepper on there because I love both of those. We're just waiting for that to come back up to the boil and make sure that cornflour is cooked all the way through. You see it's nice and thick. Now, if it does thicken up, this is actually a little bit too thick, you can grab some of that water over there and we just add a little bit of water to the bottom of it. There we go.
Do you trust me?
I trust you.
He was trying to take the jug.
That's it.
Good?
Stir that in just a little bit more.
A little bit more.
We want sauce in here.
Okay.
So when we pick it up, when we've got rice with it...
Yes, I was going to say, are you trying to drench something here?
Exactly.
Rice.
Lots and lots of sauce. And then to bring it all together, we just give it a lovely little toss all the way around like that. 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
And just letting it sort of come together. You can see that shine there. Everything's coming together, looking beautiful. Time to serve it up.
Beautiful. And I can see so many veggies in there, Richo.
Beautiful veggies in here.
I would say about 10 different veggies. Water chestnuts, you've got beans, you've got snow peas, you've got sugar snaps, you've got garlic, onion. You've nailed this.
I think not only have I put all the fruit in there as well, I've managed to get 10 different types of veggies in there and the meat. We talk about the challenge and winning who can do the most of anything.
And I'm still the winner. Oddly, strange, isn't it? Strange.
You
Very
count the veggies.
odd.
Lots of veggies in there.
There
Did you
are.
count those veggies?
Oh,
I've got the duck there. I've got a lychee. I'm going to grab that as well.
That is beautiful. That is such a nice mesh, is that the word, of flavours. You've got some sweet of the lychee, the spices come through. That's quite nutritious. That's a lot of veggies that have gone in there. You've made the duck really easy to do. I would give this a whirl at home.
And the duck is really juicy because we slice it and toss it through at the end. It's still got plenty of lovely texture to it, but still remains the juiciness, and that's what I really, really like.
Richo's crying from happiness or the chilli, I don't know, or maybe because I'm the winner. Hard to know.
Chili. This must be the chili.